I'm Lorna from the Association for the Physically Disabled, and we have developed a small business which is Barrier Breakers Commercial Services Pty Limited, where the funding came into for our Fresh laundry. Fresh is a franchise. It is an established business, but we have purchased a franchise to enable us to actually have a laundry. And just to give you an overview, this started quite some time ago. We've got a lot of beneficiaries who live in very poor housing, and our beneficiaries are all people with disabilities, and our home-based care workers go in to care for those people. Often they have pressure sores, they have medical problems that require proper laundering of their clothing plus bed linen and that sort of thing. And accordingly, we wanted to establish some kind of laundry where we could do this type of laundry properly, because currently our ladies are having to go and collect water, launder items that are severely soiled in cold water and whatever detergent is available, and often that's not even available. So this is where this whole idea came about, and the idea of having our laundry was to service our beneficiaries. AXA then put us in touch with their project Delta Force, and Delta Force basically worked with us. Are you aware of Delta Force yet? Delta Force basically worked with us to enable us to look at a potential project but to see a bigger picture. And effectively what Delta Force enabled us to do was to see our laundry not just servicing our clients, but perhaps being a commercial concern that would enable us to then bring in income for the association. So this is where we took big steps. So we took the initial step of looking at how we could create a laundry, and now that we're looking at actually having a business. Delta Force were invaluable in this regard, because they basically came to the table with brand new ideas that we'd never thought of. Effectively, this then progressed, and that's where the Fresh side of things came in. Claudia from our Delta Force team actually had a connection with Bidvest, and Bidvest actually employed the person who owns Fresh, the Fresh franchise. The reason why he's employed by Bidvest at the moment is he had his own big commercial laundry and he sold out to Bidvest, so he came in as a consultant. We were then introduced to Fresh, with Airports Company as being our primary funder, our biggest supporter. Bidvest coming in as being the experts in the field to come in and give us guidance and assistance, and Fresh obviously being the actual entity that we were going to buy into. And everything was running very smoothly. We had identified our site as being in Braamfontein. Number of reasons: it's very close proximity to our offices. It's directly across from Wits University. There's Liberty Life, SA Breweries, and the big plus, Braamfontein has borehole water, so we would have no costs involved in our water, which is, for a laundry, is a huge bonus. Then we ran into a bit of a problem, because we identified a potential site, and I don't know if you're aware that Braamfontein has been primarily taken over by a lot of property developers who are basically creating a Braamfontein for students. So a lot of the established properties that we were looking at have now been purchased, and those project developers basically put in their own small laundries, so it's coin-operated laundries. They won't even consider putting a commercial laundry on their premises. The site that we identified, unfortunately, we lost it. The funding didn't come through in time, and we lost that potential site. So as a result, we've been looking at all avenues. We've gone as far as Rudaport, we've gone out into the south, we've gone as far as Alberton, just to try and find a site. Our problem is a Fresh laundry only needs about 65 square metres. It's a very small area, but it has to be the right area. And unfortunately, we've been at the back of the queue all the way through. Also, when our budget was originally created, it was based on the rental factors at that time, and we've virtually doubled in terms of what the rental costs would be. So that's the challenges we've faced. All right, where to from here? We've basically decided that we can't not let this project happen. So as a management team within the APD, we've been very proactive, and we've actually looked at this from a whole different perspective. And I think this is one of the things that Delta Force really made us do, changed our whole attitude towards business. And what we've done is we've gone out and we've looked at what are the most essential things. So the first one being the financial viability of the project. That has to be the primary focus. It has to be accessibility of premises, because we're going to employ people with disabilities to help us run this laundry. We have to look at the security aspect of it. Some of the premises we've looked at, I don't know about you, but I'm not very comfortable to have a shop front in an area where very easily could be, you know, held up or robbed or whatever the case might be. And bearing in mind that we're going to employ people with disabilities is a sensible thing to do. And the proximity to our offices, because somebody has to overall manage the project. We've actually come up with what I think is a fantastic idea. We're on the grounds for a school with children with disabilities, and we've been watching how they facilitate their laundry services. And effectively, they're using qualified care workers to do the laundry of the school. It doesn't make sense to us, because qualified care workers, good qualified care workers, are few and far between. And also, that resource should be used with the children. It shouldn't be used doing laundry. And their facility is fairly antiquated. They've basically got one washer, one dryer. If they fall down, they've got no resource after that. The school that we're actually based on is Hope School. It's already a beneficiary of AXA. They've had quite a lot of support from AXA already. And we see this as a way where we can actually involve the school in our project. So we're benefiting not just the APD and not just people with disabilities, but a school for children with disabilities. And essentially what we're proposing is that we take over their laundry area, refurbish it totally, put in brand new proper facilities for laundry. The room they're using just now is a bit dark and dank, and it's not a pleasant place to be, and that can very easily be revamped with the funding that we have. We'll put in all the necessary meterage, so we'll be responsible for the costs. We've got a garage that's directly across from where this laundry is that we've used in the past to do a wheelchair repair service from, and we can revamp that to enable sewing or shoe repairs to be done from there. We will basically do laundry services in return, either on a return for rental, or we'll share some of our profit in addition to doing their laundry services, depending on the quantum of those services. We still have to do that establishment. And again, should Hope School not be interested in doing this, we'll take it to another facility. We've been looking at Cheshire Homes. Cheshire Homes are in dire straits at the moment. It'd be fantastic to take it to a facility like that where even the residents of Cheshire Homes could help us run the laundry. So we're very excited about this big step forward. And people from Delta Force, from the team, are actually going to come with us next week, Tuesday, to meet with the principal of Hope School to actually present this proposal. So we're quite literally at the edge of launching off. The nice thing for us is we're looking at the security aspect. We'd have somewhere to park our vehicle. It's accessible. We've already got accessible bathrooms. We've got people there who know how to work with people with disabilities. Everything's in its place. And I truly believe all the meandering that we've taken to get to this point has been for a purpose. We've had to be able to see this. And we now feel it's very much our project as opposed to buying a business. And it's changed the whole view of things. Okay. Any questions?
Just one question. How much funding did you receive from AXA?
600,000.
Okay. And what have you done with that 600 so far?
It's invested at the moment. We've paid the franchise fees. We've paid all the fees that have been required. And we're basically just sitting with the money waiting for it to be utilised. Because as soon as we start, virtually all of that money will go out the door in terms of the refurbishment, the establishment of the business. The bulk of the funding is for the actual setup.
And the number of people that you've employed thus far?
We haven't employed anybody. We actually run a recruitment service for people with disabilities. So we've got a vast group of people that we can pull from to actually help us run this business. But we envisage it'll be slowly to begin with, probably 2 or 3, and then as the business grows. One thing I've not gotten to the end of it, sorry, I've lost my plot here. We have another business partner who's helped us establish a procurement business. And it's a very clever principle that he works from. And it's basically helping businesses like ours by using their enterprise development funding. And he's helped us look at our laundry from a very different angle. He said to us, you can take a good portion of this market because you've got a very different way of doing business. You can actually do laundry for one of the big corporates free of charge in return for their enterprise development funding or their socioeconomic development funding. And it actually has changed our whole mindset, because before we were looking at people off the street. And as you know, I don't know if you've noticed, but maybe it's because we've now got this business, there's laundries popping up all over the place. Whereas this way, we can actually go to corporates and get guaranteed income for a period of time while we look after contracts on their behalf, but use the money they have to spend in other ways anyway. So they'll get a return for their money, they'll help us develop the business, and at the same time they'll get a service without it being after-tax money.